Hi, everyone. This is April Durr from the Winston-Salem Foundation, and I was recording a session for everyone who might be interested in our capital improvement grant opportunity. The portal opened yesterday, June 15th, and applications are due on August 1st. Funding decisions will be available on October 25th after our board subcommittee meeting. The best way to learn about this funding opportunity is to head over to our website and click on the Grant Seekers section. After you do that, there'll be a drop down to nonprofit and community groups. Once you navigate to this page, you can scroll down a little further and you'll see capital improvement grant opportunities about halfway down the page. This is our second year of offering this particular funding opportunity. And these grants are for Forsyth County nonprofits that are interested in acquiring, upgrading, or maintaining physical assets. So these are time-limited projects where capital support would be used. Things like properties, buildings, technology, equipment. We offered this grant opportunity for the first time last year, and we received an overwhelming number of applications, close to $2 million. And unfortunately, we were unable to fund all of them due to our available resources in our grant-making funds. And so ultimately, tough decisions had to be made, and approximately half of those requests were declined, and half of those requests were either partially or fully funded. So as we practice continuous learning and trust-based philanthropy, we take your feedback seriously. We also take feedback from our board subcommittee that reviews and approves funding decisions. So each year, you'll notice some slight changes with our funding opportunities in an effort to put what we're learning to practice. So when you're on this page of our website, you'll notice that it explains what we fund. And these grants are, as I mentioned, open to nonprofits serving Forsyth County. If your nonprofit is based out of Forsyth County but serves Forsyth County, then we would consider the percentage of the expenses that are related to our community. Organizations may only have one funded capital improvement grant open at a time. However, you can have other grants open at the same time, like our capacity building or focus area grants, or perhaps our strategic initiatives grants, just to name a few. The maximum request this year for capital improvement grants is $25,000. And these grants will not be awarded for operating expenses required to meet the ongoing costs of running a nonprofit. And if you've received a capital grant last year or in the past 3 years, we ask that you wait before applying for a new project in order to allow other nonprofits to take part in this opportunity. You'll also see a list of approved expenses such as ADA accessibility, repairs, upgrades, renovations to existing facilities, new facilities, or major material goods such as equipment, vehicles, furniture, technology, software, as well as beautification such as green space, plants, lighting, fencing, etc., and supplies, although supplies are a lower priority. A strong application will demonstrate 2 years of organizational operation, a proven track record in Forsyth County, diverse leadership representative of the community it serves, how the organization gains insights from people with lived experience in the areas of service provided. As you know, the foundation has a commitment to racial equity, and this is something that we're looking at as we are making funding decisions to see how your nonprofit is representing the community it serves by your board leadership, your staff leadership, how you're determining your programs, and whose lived experience is at the table as those programs and projects are being developed. We're also looking for financial statements to demonstrate your organization's ability to manage revenue and expenses over 2 years, the current year and the past year. While an audit is helpful, it is not required. So you can upload the documents that you have in the financial section of the application. We're also looking to see that you have clear project plans, a clear description of the need for the project, and the capacity to manage the scale of the project you're seeking funding for. We're also looking to see that you'd be able to sustain the ongoing maintenance costs of the project, since this is just a one-time grant. Expenses that are not eligible for funding would be operations such as utilities, rent, legal services, or financial services, because these are things that all nonprofits have expenses in their monthly budget. And this grant is not intended to cover those monthly expenses that every nonprofit has. We're also not looking to fund programmatic work or service delivery or new or existing staff. And so the best place to start your application is our portal. And you may already have access to our portal. It's the same place you go to apply for other grants, report on current grants. If you need an account, you can certainly set one up. We ask that you try to do that in advance of the deadline so that we can make sure you have access with enough time to work on your application. If you need technical assistance, please reach out to us and we'd be happy to help you with the application portal. I also want to point out that last year was our first year doing this grant opportunity. And in prior years, we were offering capital campaign grants. Those grants are no longer available, but if you have questions about that or want to see that historical information, there is a link on our website that outlines why those grants are no longer in place. So once you get to the application, you will click on available grants, and you'll see here, I'm logged into the portal, and you'll see available grants, capital improvements. So you would just click on that application and you can then work on your answers, save them as you go, and submit when you're ready. As long as you submit by the deadline, that's all that we ask. And then if we have questions for you, we will certainly follow up during the review process. You're not required to meet with us before you submit an application. You're welcome to submit an application if in fact you have specific questions, proposal ideas you want to discuss. You can certainly email us or schedule an appointment, and we'd be happy to correspond about your questions prior to the deadline. This application form is meant to be simple. It's not meant to take a lot of time. The foundation's really been trying to cut down on the paperwork burden for local nonprofits so that you're not spending time filling out applications, doing reporting. So you'll see there's just 3 tabs to this application. And once you complete the organizational information, you can then fill out the project information. Many of these answers you might be able to copy and paste from other places or other applications you have saved in our portal. Under the project, you will select from the drop-down the type of project you're doing. And please be sure to answer any additional questions that might pop up. For example, if you're working on facilities, we want to know if you are renting or leasing the space or if you own the space. And if you're working on beautification, we would like to know if this is a public space or who has access to this space. So be on the lookout for additional questions that might pop up as you answer other questions. You'll notice some have a star, which means they're required, and some do not have a star, which means they are optional. But we ask that you fill out the application as best as you can, and you can simply list your answers to many of these questions about the project and the costs associated with the project. You don't have to put long narratives in these boxes. And then you'll see the 3rd tab, you can upload information, and we're asking you to upload information that's not readily available on your website. As staff here, we will do our best to look up information so that you don't have to input it into an application form. So if your board list, staff list is not on the website, then you could upload it here. Same with your financials, you can upload them here. And if you don't have an audit, you could upload a 990 instead, or anything else that might be pertinent to your application, such as cost estimates, quotes, pictures. There's some additional upload files that are not required but are there. So if you need them, feel free to use them. Then we would love your feedback. As I mentioned, we take feedback seriously from local nonprofits and our board subcommittee. So we're always taking that to heart and making changes based on what we're hearing from the field. So we'd love your feedback. We'd also love to know how long it took you to complete the application, because in fact, if it's taking folks too long, then we're not meeting our goal of having a short application process, so we will work to make it more efficient and streamlined. So as I mentioned at the bottom, you can save, you can submit. We do recommend that you save as you go and then submit when you are ready. So I hope this helps to answer your questions and walk you through the process for our capital improvement grants at the Winston-Salem Foundation. My information is at the bottom of the page if you need to reach out to me by email with a question or would like to schedule a conversation. And again, we appreciate and value the work that local nonprofits are doing and hope that this funding opportunity will be valuable to you. And we look forward to getting the applications and going through the review process this year. And we will announce the grants made the end of October. Thank you so much and have a great day.